Today I'm cutting out the trunk of the FRS because I got a fuel cell along with a surge tank because I kind of hit the cap for what I can run power-wise with this car. My tuner said I need a return system and a 1-to-1 fuel pressure regulator to run any more boost in power. I was at 20 psi before, but he said it was getting kind of dicey, so yeah. So with that being said, I am going to install the fuel cell surge tank and put two fuel cells. I'm going to put two fuel pumps in the surge tank so I don't run out of fuel at all. Everything should fit right inside of the trunk. I am cutting out the spare tire well along with this like front wall right here so I have enough room. And with that, I should be able to run like 20-25 psi, make over 500 safely without, leaning out, and this thing will be a ripper, or even more of one than it already is. Alright, so here's the progress. That's what I've cut out so far, and this is now a hole in the floor. I think my fuel cell will fit perfect right between the subframe and the end here where the latch is for the trunk. I'm gonna try to retain the latch for the trunk but chop out everything else and then just weld a couple of supports so I can still use the trunk button and whatever sensor it is to tell me that the trunk is open or closed. And like I said, the rest of this front wall is coming out. I'm cutting right before the subframe, right there where that hanger is. Basically right behind that hanger I'm gonna cut, and everything else will be chopped out from the subframe forward or backward. Alright, so I'm gonna do that and show y'all what it looks like after. So that's what it looks like so far. I haven't done the driver's side yet, but we've done pretty much all of the passenger side. I'm gonna decide whether I want this like piece of the trunk covering the wheel there, or if I'm gonna cut that out. Most likely just gonna cut it out. I don't see the point of having it there. Or I'll leave it to block rocks from hitting the fuel cell and popping up in there. So I might actually just leave that. But yeah, it's looking good so far. Trunk still has the latch there that I'll make the custom supports for. And I'm gonna do the driver's side right now, clean up everything. And once I do that, I will make plates for the frame rail right there so I can bolt the cage that I'm making to it, but I'll do that later. For now, I just want to make sure it's cleaned up and ready for me to start fabbing up the fuel cell cage. Alright, the rear is chopped out. I'm gonna clean it up, get everything where I want it, and then I'll probably go to the store, get some 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch steel plate so I can plate those frame rails. This is the progress. I cut the entire trunk out. A lot of it is in that garbage can over there on the floor. Right now I'm making the cage or bash bar for the fuel cell that I'm installing. I have a Jazz 12-gallon fuel cell. It's just held up for the jack right now, which is why it's a little crooked. But last night I bent this tubing from Amazon that I bought with the Amazon pipe bender. It's the same shit that I made the front end with. I'm just kind of getting that mocked up. The top bar is pretty much fully welded in, along with the subframe plates that I made there. And right now I'm working on the lower bar. So right now I just have a piece of angled tubing right there. It's going to come down and around the bottom of this fuel cell, and do the same on the other side, and I'll weld supports in between the top and bottom bar once everything is in place. Once this is nice and secure, I'll take it out, clean up the rest of the trunk. I made a couple of marks right there where I'm going to cut, and I'm gonna try to clean it out as best as I can so I can make the firewall and then coat this entire rear end with, like, I don't know, just something durable, like bed coating or something, just so it's nice and doesn't get chipped up or look like this. This looks like shit. So it'll be a work in progress, but I'll make it work. I'm also contemplating what color to paint the rear cage. I'll probably go with pink just because the front bar is pink, the roll bar is pink. Might as well just keep the theme going. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully this works. So this might sum up this video. I did the firewall, chopped out the trunk, I started to make the cage for the fuel cell, and I ran out of material for the cage, so I've got some coming in the mail in a couple of days, and I will likely finish the cage in a couple of days, get the fuel cell mounted, and then work on mounting my surge tank. Once I do that, I will order the fuel lines and just begin that. I just need one more inline fuel pump and I'm pretty much all set with the entire setup. Alright, so that's with the fuel cell in there. It's a little crooked, or I'm tripping, I'm not sure, but everything looks good. I'm going to wait for the rest of the piping that I need to finish the cage, and once I do that, I'll start painting everything back here. I'm just gonna rhino line it or something, just so it doesn't, look a mess. That's just about it. She's ready to go. So this thing will be done soon. Stay tuned. I'll catch up with y'all soon.